So, so realizing that dukkha, teaching of Buddha, then I think now once we realize there's nothing but suffering in the samsaric world, then we look for cause of the suffering. Then really understanding the cause of the suffering is nothing but due to negative mind or due to misunderstanding of self, thinking there is such thing as a I, self, without any logical kind of reason, even a simple logical reason, if you search, that you will not find I. Many, many teachings on that. Of course, you heard many times. So, when we have this I, then we have mine, me. Then once we have I, such strong attachment to this I, even we cannot take a small kind of harsh word towards so-called I, sort of cherishing so much. Then once we have attachment to oneself, then we have kind of repulsion or kind of hate mind to others. So then all this due to not understanding or not realizing the truth. So therefore it is ignorance. So these three poisons: ignorance and attachment and hate or anger. So this is very, very kind of logical. So really understanding that, the second truth, the cause of the suffering. And due to these three negative emotions, then we accumulate so much negative karmic debts. Rangjung Due to this ignorance, then we accumulate a lot of negative emotions. So with this in framework, then we want to be free from the suffering. So this kind of mental attitude, I think we should not forget. Sometimes we get engaged into the main practice, so-called main practice, then we forget the framework of what we are trying to deal with it. And there's a saying in Tibetan, if the ghost is in the eastern direction, by dedicating Torma to the west is not going to solve the problem. So I think not forgetting what we are dealing with. So in that, I think understanding, then whatever practice we have to do, what we do, always in this framework of Four Noble Truth. So now the path of the Four Noble Truth teaching, in order to achieve the cessation, the path, then we have so many different methods and so many different ways. Because our human beings have so many different way of seeing and different way of dealing with things. Like 7 billion people, we say, in this world, live in the 7 billion world. So therefore, there are so many different teachings according to the capacity or according to the need of the sentient beings. So, but no matter whether you are in Sutrayana or Mahayana or Vajrayana, I think main thing is we are trying to deal with, like I mentioned before, with negative emotions which causes the suffering of the samsara. So that's, I think we should not forget. And now here we are, due to our karmic connection, last time like I mentioned, due to our karmic connection, due to our some kind of lot of accumulation in our past life, even though we live in different parts of the world, we live far from the land of snow or land of Tibet, where the Vajrayana was flourishing. Somehow we are connected with this lineage. And that I don't think is just a fluke or accident. There's so much past karmic connection. So within the Vajrayana tradition, then we are somehow connected here with the Chabji Tengku Rinpoche's lineage and his tradition. So we are all here in this Zoom, gathered here, inspired by Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan tradition Buddhism, and especially the lineage of Chabji Tengku Rinpoche. So now, in order to go through the Ngondro practice, and now we are mainly focusing on the Guru Yoga. And even though we call this in the Ngondro itself, it says general, preliminary, and extraordinary preliminary. And but somehow it is all within the framework of Vajrayana practice. So I think in Sutra or Tantra or all the Buddha's teachings, and also within the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, the of course Nyingma, Saja, Kaju, Gelug, all traditions, if you look in their teachings, all emphasize on the relying upon the true Guru, and ultimately, and practicing the Guru Yoga is the most essential practice. So this is kind of unanimous in sutras and tantras and all the 4 different schools.